some moifsin in Mitzrayim, so that you should speak. You should tell in the ears of your children and your grandchildren what happened in Mitzrayim. And you should all know the Yadativ Ki Yeshiva. Very interesting word. The ears, of course. Where else do you speak? So I heard somebody say that there's a lot of noise. You have to go and speak to the guy's ear. Right? When you buy a chasana, you want to speak to somebody. It's playing loud music. I don't know about in Queens, but in Lakewood the music's very loud. Music's very loud. It's even worse in Queens. Okay, but you want to speak to somebody, you have to go speak to the ear. Hashem's telling us that there are going to be a lot of times where there's a lot of background music. We're in this world, and there are a lot of things happening, a lot of distractions, a lot of things pulling you in different directions. We have to speak into the ear that they should hear. They should be able to hear the message that Yadativ Ki Hashem, that all the nisim that Hashem did in Mitzrayim is that we should remember, and we should know today. We should remember we are the grandchildren and great grandchildren. We have to tell it over and pass it over. We have to learn that we should be able to tell it to our children and our grandchildren about what happened in Mitzrayim, and we should know Ki Ani Hashem. Mishal Salanta once brought this out with a mashal. The Ramban asks, or brings out, that Hashem doesn't do so many big nisim every single year and every single generation. We don't always see big nisim, even though if you pay attention to what happened in Eretz Yisrael in the past year, especially starting October 7th, never have such tragedies again. But the nisim that happened, the people that were saved and the people that were spared, and the nisim that happened are unbelievable. I don't know if we had such nisim any other time that we had such nisim that we saw. The Golden, outright nisim. But Hashem doesn't always show nisim. We have to use the nisim that Hashem shows and remember them and constantly review them and chazal them over, that we should remember that Hashem runs the world. Mishal Salanta was once at somebody's house and they asked him this question: if Hashem is true, why doesn't He show us His powers every day? Why don't we see His powers? He hides His powers. Why didn't He show us His powers? So he looked on the wall and he saw that there was a diploma there. The diploma said that one of this person's daughters was a big professional violinist. So he says, the daughter's a violinist? Yeah. He plays all over the real places. How do I know that she's a good violinist? Bring her, let her play for me, then I'll decide if she's a good violinist. He said, what do you mean? Look at what kind of diploma she has. She has a diploma from the highest places. He says that's a mashal to tell us. Akash Baruch Hu did the nisim. We have to remember the diploma. The diploma of Akash Baruch Hu is what He did in Mitzrayim, and what He does sometimes in different generations. But He doesn't have to show us every time. That's our job. If He show us every time, it would be too easy for us. Our job would be too easy. We would all be sitting in the Beis Medrash 24 hours a day. We wouldn't do anything wrong. If Hashem would do nisim every single day, we wouldn't be able to do anything wrong. Malachim can't do anything wrong. Some say they have bechira. Some say they don't have bechira. Some say they have bechira. But they can't do anything wrong. They're standing in front of Akash Baruch Hu. They see Akash Baruch Hu. It's impossible for them to do something wrong. So if Hashem would be showing Himself to us every single minute, then it would be impossible for us to do anything wrong, and then there would be no nisayim. And Hashem wants that we should pass the test. Life is about passing the test, and Hashem wants us to have a test, and pass the test, and fight it. We have to constantly remember what happened in Mitzrayim, and how Hashem saved us in Mitzrayim, did all the nisim, and Hashem has the powers, and Hashem saves us all the time behind the scenes. We don't see it all the time. We see Baruch Hashem. We have to be on Baruch Hashem. Hashem is constantly holding Him up with two hands. Constantly. Siyata D'Shmaya, the Rebbe Aronoff has, constantly Akash Baruch Hu is holding Him up, giving Him Siyata D'Shmaya, giving Him koyach, whatever koyach He has, is coming from Hashem. And Hashem is constantly with us and taking care of us. He just doesn't want to show it to us because He wants us to have the discernment to think that it happens by itself, or that we pull it off. But we have to constantly remember and Hashem, that it's always Hashem taking care of us, and we got to pay back. We have to listen to Hashem. We have to do His Ratzon. We have to learn His Torah. We have to become His mitzvahs. That's our responsibility, and we should all have siyata d'shmaya to constantly do the right thing, make the right decisions, and continue to grow in Torah and Yeshiva.
Amen.